Finkelstein calling all his research just Wikipedia because he didn't do research. He's never read a book. Destiny admitted to not even reading one book. Not even reading one book. He said he looked at part of one of Betty Morris's books. Black. He's full stream of D reading a book for 9 hours. You don't care about the truth, so you'll ban me instead of acknowledging.
This morning you just...
You can't finish a book in 9 hours unless it's a really short book. Is that impressive to you? Serious question. Is reading one book for 9 hours impressive to you? I actually want to go through this stream and watch him do it. That would actually be funny. Training under 1,000 times Earth's gravity. Boring research streams from now until the 28th. Guys, he read a book. Okay, let's see. Okay, he's not reading the book here. Not reading the book here. Not reading the book here. Okay, he has notes. War crimes, Israel. It's not really filled in yet. So that's 4 hours and 12 minutes. Let's click around. Not reading the book here. I'm just randomly clicking hours ahead. Not reading. So 9 hours of reading a book. He wasn't reading the book when I clicked 6 different separate times. See, the book was never there. One time there was notes that were not filled in. Again, I addressed your straight up, you dumb
what
little
does he think
rat.
I'm staring at?
How does that feel, being stupid? Now, you're an inferior intellect, which is why you admire Destiny. I'm going to be the person who tells you this. He's a loser.
Thank you.
If you think he's intelligent, you're wrong.
True.
He doesn't have any academic credentials. He doesn't read books. He's not informed. He's actually not even very intelligent in rhetoric. He doesn't string together logical syllogisms. So anybody who knows what they're talking
How do you string together logical syllogisms? Syllogism is just two premises that lead to a conclusion. Wait, is that a thing? Do people string together logical syllogisms? What is that? I don't know, never mind.
talking about listens to him talk.
It's like buzzword bingo again. You can't even string together logical syllogisms, can you?
Rick, he doesn't string together logical syllogisms, so anybody who knows what they're talking about listens to him talk and realizes that he's a slippery sophist. He doesn't actually make logical arguments that are sound based on material analysis of the actual world that exists. At best...
Okay, we're at a 5.5 minute video. Do you think he'll give a single... it's got to be so played out. They've got to notice, right? The fans have to be cringing a little bit. It's like, okay, well, like, I agree. Destiny's a retard. Destiny's a piece of shit. Destiny's an idiot. I agree with all of that. But we're going to say why, right? Like, we're going to bring up at least one thing that he's incorrect on. At least one thing. There's got to be at least one thing. One thing.
He uses hypothetical situations created to give the outcome he wants. He's sophistic. He's stupid. He just sat there not reading the book. 9 hours of reading a book. Click 9 different times he's not reading the book. 9 hours of reading a book. Click 9 different times he's not reading the book. It's an ebook, obviously. Oh, so I guess he wasn't so he was listening to it. Let's go listen. Let's go check.
Of admission. Refugees could be settled, of course, in unlimited numbers.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He didn't prepare the clip before stream. Oh, no. Oh, oh, now he's like, now when he saw it, he's like, oh, oh, fuck. Oh, how much of this was I just wrong on? Oh, no. Uh-oh. He didn't pre-watch.
Let's go listen. Let's go check.
Of admission. Refugees could be settled, of course, in unlimited numbers.
All right, here you go.
Or literally.
Okay, so he's talking to some guy.
I even like here.
So this is he wasn't reading the book for 9 hours. So he's talking. So let's go through here.
What is this? What are we doing right now? Like, I want to find out for how many hours on the stream was he reading the book. Like, First of all, it was only the last, I think, 3 or 4 chapters of this book, and it was over several days. I don't know how many hours we read on stream. Like, what is the goal of what we're doing right now? Like, Mike is probably spending more time seeing how much I've read about this conflict than actually reading about it himself. He doesn't have any idea what the conditions are like on the ground in Palestine. His negotiations are horrible. The actual on-the-ground Palestinian negotiators were in D.C. trying to do a track there to figure out some real negotiations, but obviously Rabin for Oslo preferred to negotiate with Arafat because he knew that Arafat was more selfishly driven, and he knew that he could get a better deal out of Arafat.
Okay, guys, does a scholar talk like this?
What do you... What? It's gotta be, his audience has to notice. His audience has to notice, right?
If you're a scholar, so Rabin preferred to negotiate with Arafat because he was selfishly driven.
Oh, he just doesn't know anything about the conflict at all. Yes. So Arafat lost a lot of popularity in the Palestinian world because in the Gulf War in 91, Arafat came out and supported Saddam Hussein, which led to all of the Palestinians, I think over 200,000 being expelled from Kuwait afterwards because they were like, well, your leadership is supporting the guy that's invading and us. So Arafat was essentially kicked out of the entire Palestinian world in 91, and there was no way for him back except when the Oslo Accords started. And when the Oslo Accords started, Arafat fancied himself as being somebody that Rabin could negotiate opposite against. I don't think Rabin was directly negotiating, whoever his negotiators were. And Arafat, with his desire to get back into the back into the Palestinian world, into Palestinian leadership, he wanted to be the one to make that negotiation so he could step back into that leadership role. The PA, the Palestinian Authority, is going to be created. I'm the chairman of the PLO. We're going to be the party that is doing this, and that's what I mean when I say Arafat was selfishly driven to negotiate for the Oslo Accords. And Rabin, it makes him a better negotiating partner opposite Rabin because Rabin can get more out of him or not make any strong commitments because Arafat's not there negotiating on behalf of the Palestinian people. He's just trying to save himself politically. But Mike has no idea about literally any of the things I just said. He has absolutely no idea. So I'm so curious what criticism he's about to make of that statement.
If you're a scholar, so Rabin preferred to negotiate with Arafat because he was selfishly.
Guys, he read an ebook, and that's why defending a genocide is okay. They're dropping 2,000-ton bombs on children, and you want to debate over your dumb debate streamer. This is why people hate Americans. Get off the internet. And what book? A historically accurate book or some fascist propaganda? 2,000-ton bombs. God damn.
Driven. You guys can't think this guy's smart. I mean, like, honestly, you can't think he's smart, right? You can't think he's smart. Legitimately. You can't think that sounds smart. Do you? You think that sounds smart?
Because Arafat doesn't give a about this. It's so funny. Oh my God. I feel like I wanted to do this with my Hodge twins debate. I might do it. I'm not sure yet. It would be really interesting in reviewing clips because I can start to point to, as I write this stuff down, I can start to point to a lot of these things that people do because everything that I write here should describe every behavior that I find inexcusable in the people that I talk to. But it's a funny aesthetic versus function here, right? So am I intelligent, or at least are the things I'm saying intelligent? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know because Mike is only engaged in the aesthetic analysis, right? He wants the appearance of being smart, not the functional part of being intelligent, right? So there's no actual concrete analysis of any substance. Just, well, does he sound smart? Because Arafat doesn't give a fuck about the Palestinians. So I think that Palestinians have Israel and the Israeli leadership and Palestinian leadership have always been at ends with each other and asking for things that the other side will never give. But at least like right now, I already know because their minds are small enough that I can encompass their entire mind. Okay, we'll see if he does it. If he does it, God, it looks so smart. But I know what he's doing anyway. Even if he doesn't do it, I know what he's doing. Right now, what he's doing is he's listening so hard to see if he can identify a single key word out of anything that I'm saying. And if he can hone in on one key word or one statement, he can pause and then go off on how I'm incorrect about that one thing. Because otherwise he's completely at sea. He's totally lost. He has no idea what is being discussed about. But if he can find that one key word or find that one thing that he disagrees with, he can jump off into that thing. That's something he's read a headline about or a tweet about. That's what he's looking for right now. I think that
Palestinians have Israel and the Israeli leadership and Palestinian leadership have always been at ends with each other and asking for things that the other side will never give. But at least Israeli leadership represents their citizens. I feel like Palestinian leadership has had deep flaws in the way that it's functioned for a long time, and I think we see that through Arafat and the PLO especially.
Okay.
That's my
so
thing.
that's another issue. Is I think that you're being frankly too generous to the Israeli leadership in saying, one, that they represent their people and they have their best interests at heart, especially with this.
He sounds smart to stupid people. So I guess D has that going for himself. It's so funny because I really support the guru guys in their mission. Sounding smart to stupid people is when you speak eloquently with little substance. That's sounding smart to stupid people. And gurus do this really well. Jordan Peterson's a really great example of that. A lot of the people like that do the self-help selling, they sound smart, they can speak eloquently, but when you really dig into the substance of what they're saying, it's pretty hollow and empty. That's what it means to sound smart to stupid people. So the criticisms that Mike are giving me here is how to sound smart to a stupid person. Like, speak like a scholar. What the fuck does that mean? Like Gorka? Oh, Gorka's a good example of that. I don't know if he would count as like a guru, though, but...
That's another issue. Is I think that you're being frankly too generous to the Israeli leadership in saying, one, that they represent their people and they have their best interests at heart, especially with this government, and two, like when it comes to the actual way that they've governed over the last few years, especially, I think that's really it's just not fair to say, you know.
Well, what do you mean?
So the guy immediately refutes him. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. Like,
he couldn't find a buzzword he couldn't find anything to latch onto because he can't follow this conversation. He has no idea what's being talked about.
at a certain point, like, I think if you're a relatively intelligent person, you can identify bullshit. But if you're not, you're kind of a victim.
And this is the thing that's like so scary for me, or it's why I write so much stuff down, or I try to like have concrete grounded examples, is because, and I say this a lot, when I look at like the guru subreddit, or I think of people that are like independent, like not hardcore lefty poison against me, but people who like hear my content and they're like, okay, it's another one of these types of guys. I don't blame people for having that immediate impression of me, because I think I say a lot of things that I would consider like super red flags. Because I'll say a lot of the same things that these people say, like, oh yeah, like you should be able to immediately tell when somebody's full of shit. Oh, you should be careful of people that sound smart but aren't, right? Like we say the same things. I'm saying all the same things that Mike is saying, but in practice, obviously we mean something completely different. I don't know if Mike knows that he's full of shit or not. I actually, that is one thing I haven't discerned yet. I don't know how much these guys know they're full of shit. I feel like I know pretty quickly. I feel like even when I was younger, I feel like I know pretty quickly when I'm out of my depth. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't argue this point anymore because I'm just out of my depth on this. I'm not sure. I'm so curious if he realizes or not. I don't know.